Hello, my traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies. Today, my babies and Barbies, I must warn you. If you are not into really weird shit, if you don't like hearing stuff about non-human beings, and I'm already getting chills about this every single time, like when I channel this information, whenever I start thinking about bringing this information through or talking about it, I just consistently get full body chills. But you need to know that whatever this is, it's weird. I have no idea what's about to come through. And if you, this is the consent period, okay? I'm telling you right now, this is strange. This is bizarre. I don't know that this is positive or negative, and it might not fall into any of those classifications, but it is time sensitive. Because this has to do with the solar eclipse, the one coming up in April. This is time sensitive. This is not a timeless read. This is not about any other solar eclipse. This is specifically about the solar eclipse in April 2023. Okay, so we're gonna do the channel stuff first, and I'm gonna have to do a bunch of explaining, because the first thing that came through channeled about this read is the following quote. It was "Ring Around the Roses," it was. That's pretty obscure unless you are familiar with very, very old Disney horror movies. That quote is from a movie that is based off of a novel. I forget if the novel shares the same name, but the movie is called A Watcher in the Woods. Now, A Watcher in the Woods is about a family that moves into this manor in, I believe it's the English countryside, I'm not sure. Now, there is a timeline that went on in the past, and then there's a timeline that is mirroring past events that is going on in the present. So, in the past, there was a group of friends and a girl called Karen. And this group of friends, I don't think that they knew what they were doing. They just were a group of friends, and when Karen moved into this manor, they were like, oh, we're gonna initiate you into the friend group, right? It wasn't really a magic thing. It wasn't an on-purpose thing. It was just a game that they were gonna play with her. So to initiate her, they waited for, I believe it was a solar eclipse, I'm not sure, but some sort of eclipse. And what they did was they brought her into this chapel that, they don't go over this in the movie, but there's sort of the eclipse happened sort of right above where they were standing. The chapel was essentially aligned with this particular star planetary alignment when it happened. And so they were standing at, and I don't know the technical terms for chapels and churches, but they were at the front of the chapel, where the altar is. She was standing on this sort of circular dais. So Karen's standing on the circular dais, she's blindfolded. All of the other kids that are with her are standing around her holding hands, Ring Around the Roses, right? And then there's this one guy who's emceeing the events, and he's Karen, you will now be one of us and all this stuff, and you must now speak. He says something specifically. And when he says this thing specifically to kind of initiate the initiation, there's this lightning strike, right? Except it's not really a lightning, it's not really a lightning strike, but this lightning hits the church. And the building catches on fire and it starts collapsing, and all the kids just scatter, right? And they just leave Karen there. And the roof collapses. They hear the roof start collapsing. They turn around. When the roof collapses, what they later tell people, in the present, this is all going on in the past. When these events are revisited and they're talking about them, they were we turned around, but before the roof collapsed, Karen wasn't there. Okay, so that's what happened in the past, but everyone just assumed that Karen died in this fire and the roof collapsed, even though they never found her body. So this family moves into Karen and her mom's old house. Her mom is still alive. And this particular family has two daughters. One is blonde and older, and one is younger and brunette. The blonde one kind of resembles Karen, and the blonde one as she's walking around this house, like at various points, like whenever she comes across a reflective surface, she sees Karen blindfolded in the mirror, like on the other side, and she's trying, like she's like asking for help. She's like pressing her hands out and asking for help. And usually after one of these events happen, the mirror or the window will shatter a bit, like it'll crack. She's just thinking, and the audience is just thinking at this point, like this is her ghost, right? So, as we're going on in this movie, whenever we see the woods and someone playing in the woods, like all of a sudden you'll just see, like it's sort of like the camera is far away from, it's usually the younger sister character, the brunette, and like all of a sudden the camera just starts following her. Like if there's this disembodied presence that like when there's a gust of wind or something like that, like that means it's moving. And so this disembodied weird presence kind of like travels around and observes people, and it lives in the woods and it comes out of the woods. And at various periods throughout this film, it possesses the younger sister, and the younger sister starts doing weird shit. And one of the things that she does when she is possessed is she writes on dust in the window the word Narak. And on the other side of the window, the older sister kind of turns and looks, and she sees on the other side that the word Narak is actually the name Karen, but it's written backwards. And so what eventually comes out is they find out all of this stuff about Karen and the stuff that happens in the past. And what is actually going on is that Karen is not dead. What actually happened is that during this eclipse and like that lightning that wasn't really lightning, what happens during some eclipses is that beings are able to transverse the world via these eclipse portals. And the ritual that they were doing unbeknownst to themselves at the time, like they were just playing around, but it wasn't any game. The ritual that they were doing at the time, like essentially they lined up Karen with this portal. And so when these beings, like they come through, they stay for a little while, and then they return back to wherever they're going. And they do that through eclipses. So when this being attempted to cross back into its world, it crossed paths with Karen. And so Karen went to the alien world, and the alien stayed on Earth, or the human dimension, whatever this is, right? And the thing is, that being was somehow like aligned to Karen, because it's like a weird doppelganger, except it's not. If you can locate this movie on DVD and get a copy with the deleted scenes, watch the deleted scenes, because they cut out when they actually showed this alien being like full frontal, and I was like, oh, it's probably gonna look so crappy. And then when I saw it, I was like, holy fucking shit, that's creepy. No wonder they cut it out. There was no way. There are like scenes of like the alien realm, like that they cut out because it was just too much. Like when they showed it to test audiences, not only were test audiences horrified, they were like all freaked out by these alien interdimensional realms where there were like pyramids and like past that, like, it was wild, and I was just like, why did they not keep this in? This is amazing. So anyway, this freaking weird-ass alien thing, they end up repeating the ritual to bring Karen back and send Narak back to the mirror dimension, right? The doppelganger dimension, whatever the shit that is, and they end up successful. Like, there is a mega happy ending. Karen does come back, and the blonde sister, who is sort of standing in the place of Karen as they repeat this ritual with all of the children now grown up, she is okay. So she doesn't end up like getting banished to the nightmare alien realm. What's also interesting, by the way, is depending how old you are, and if you ever visited Disney World, there used to be a ride at Disney World that is now gone because it was also too intense. And it was called the Extraterrestrial Alien Encounter. If you look at the creature that they cut out of A Watcher in the Woods, and you look at the alien that's in the Extraterrestrial Alien Encounter, which is also about teleportation. It's about teleportation gone wrong. This being is not supposed to be where the audience is experiencing them. Like they get crosswired and this being appears in this space instead of the intended person. But if you look at that creature versus the creature from A Watcher in the Woods, it is the same creature. Like, it's the same design. And if you like know stuff about Walt Disney, you know, I don't know, right? Like, that's conspiracy, it's hearsay, but I just find it very weird. So that is the backstory. So if you have just heard all of that and you are not about any of what I just said, get out of this video, because I'm going to read this and then we are going to see what these beings have to say, because this is a being message. I'm bringing through alien energy, non-human energy. If you do not want to be exposed to that, do not watch this video, like, period, okay? So here is the rest of the channeled message. Something's incoming and it's not human. The eclipse, it will be apparent. They're coming to purge those they no longer require. Individuals will be returned. Documents will be uncovered, unsealed, or leaked by accident. There is documentation of these others, and they are coming back now. They always return. Ugh. Beware the ring, the circle, the portal, the moon, the looking glass. You might not like what you see, but some of you will regardless. There will be dreams and there will be corresponding events. Make no mistake, it is us. We always come back. Okay, what I am getting about this is that these beings, like, this isn't happening to everyone. And I don't know about that documentation part. Like, I wouldn't invest too much, like, literal interpretation of that particular part of the channeled message. If it happens, like, hey, I just don't see, like, that's wild, right? Like, that's probably metaphorical or some crap, okay? So I'm getting a no, but I'm just not taking that seriously. These beings, it's sort of like everyone has one. It's sort of like whatever dimension they're from, it is some kind of mirror dimension. So for Allison, there is maybe like a Nalissa, like, I don't know, like, if it works quite that way. But there are these beings that are twins, or they correspond to every single person on the planet, and sometimes they come through for specific reasons. I don't know what they're purging. Like, I don't know, maybe it'll come out in the cards. But what it seems like is, if this is going to happen to you, you are going to start having dreams leading up to the eclipse. And there will be, like, these are going to be like prophetic dreams. So what dreams you have, if you do not see corresponding, like, synchronistic events in your material reality, like, this is not for you. That part is extremely literal. Like, you will know if this is for you or if it's for not. So we are going to see, because this came in with like a specific format for this read, kind of maybe the theme or the reason why these beings are returning. Roots, branches just flipped out already. Ooh. This is something about women in particular, and I do mean likely people who were assigned female at birth. Okay, and we already said, right? Beware the moon. I've got this keep going card, but like, you see the lightning and the planet, the lightning that's not lightning. There are some of you who are currently vulnerable to these beings, these spirits, and they're not like it might not be pleasant, right? And they are not from this world. Ooh. I just freaked the fuck out. I didn't even know that card was right there. So this mindfulness, right? This is about dreams. This is about your meditation. You're going to start seeing things there if this is for you. The solar eclipse / the unseen. What is usually not seen will be seen during the solar eclipse. And here it is again. This has to do with moon cycles and sun cycles. There's about to be an energetic shift that is going to change things for certain people. And that is unknown. Like, I don't know. Roots, branches, roots, branches, roots. Well, the woods. Ooh, oh my God. I just realized that. A watcher in the woods. In the woods. Trees. I don't know, but we're supposed to get one of these cards and put it down too. These can't possibly be beings of the earth. If they're coming through an eclipse, they've got to be something else. Ooh. You're not going to be able to see this on this card, but it's like there's this dark figure like in the woods, and it's like looking out. The woods, the woods. I don't think that this is the literal woods. And roots, branches, it's like you're tied to this. Whoever is meant to hear this, like, you have roots with that thing. Like, you are the roots and kind of there. Like, it's like this merging this way. Ugh. I just asked the cards to hurry up, and what I got was we come in our own time. I also just got we come when we're called. I just told y'all, and you're not gonna be able to see it, but there's like this weird, it's probably not even, there's like a tiny little figure back here that's like coming out, and what I pulled was the Beast of Wands. You can see this is a dark figure that is in some kind of wooded area, the wands, and it's coming. Also might be related to cats, right? I'm all of a sudden uncomfortable. So what are we doing now? 6 cards. The beast. The beast is coming through the mirror, through the portal. It's gonna crack the mirror or the window. Beware the looking glass. Wonderland, right? Wonderland, bizarre world. Oh, that's so interesting. Dang, y'all, these being messages, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, these are truly weird. And also, I don't know what these beings are called. I don't know if I'll get that. No name. Oh, I just got Emanon. Emanon is no name spelled backwards. Looking glass. Backwards. Oh, I just got a very weird image of like, it's like something that walks in reverse, but then is played backwards so it looks forwards. And it's kind of like, you know, whenever you go into one of the lodges in Twin Peaks, like that's the kind of movement, and that's what, like, ooh, I just saw something out of the corner of my fucking eye. Like, don't do this to me. Oh, I'm so cleansing this space afterwards. Oh, they're saying they have, like, that little thing that I just saw is a messenger. That is a being of the earth. Okay, that's why. They have connections to, like, other beings. Like, there are, like, small little beings of the earth that kind of scurry around, and I've been seeing, like, I saw that like a month or so ago, and I was like, what the fuck is that? It looked like this little flesh goblin, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna go downstairs and not even concern myself. It is none of my fucking business. You start seeing stuff out of the corner of your eye that looks like a little weird flesh goblin. It's you. Oh, okay, interesting. We don't have 6, we have 7, so I'll put that 7th card over here. Okay. Ooh. All right. Yes. Ooh. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. I knew this card was going to come out. These beings, like, this is a big event, whatever this is. These beings are shattering something. They're like breaking through something that is normally solid during this eclipse. Not so solid anymore, because this is like that shattered mirror, right? And you might not like what you see, but you're gonna look regardless. Some of you will. I also get like this is the dream space as well. Like you're gonna start seeing shit that you might not like in your dreams. I'm gonna do my best with this. I don't know. This is like about them. It's kind of about what they're gonna do to you, but this is more kind of about their movement. Like, this 8 of Discs, like the names of the cards, the suits, this is almost irrelevant when I read from this deck, okay? It's more about the image. Like, this is the portal. This is the opening. Like, you see this? This is their world. And they come through here. Like, this green, that's our world. This is where they come through. Why do they come through? To link up. If you see here, these two, it's like they're meeting their twin. They're meeting their twin. And to be honest with you, it's like a physical meeting, because whoever these beings are, like, this is their world, right? Like, we're looking at their realm. It's kind of this desolate, black planetscape. And they are actually, like, because it's on top of our world. Like, it's not anywhere else. Like, it is sitting right on top of us. And they are around you all the time. And here's the thing. I don't know if you can see this stuff, but it's like, there's like a little skeleton back here, and then there are these bugs, okay? And I'm gonna get into this. I don't get that this realm is like great for people, right? And I don't know that these beings are like there is something predatory about these beings, because this is like a spider, and there's an ant right here, and this spider has its eye on this ant. Your twin has an eye on its twin. And this is like how they communicate. They communicate through intuition, through dreams, through meditation. They communicate through that, like this water that's coming down and hitting this person, like that's them raining down, like their essence, their communication, how they transmit certain things. And like I'm saying, these beings are not pleasant. Like, it's not a pleasant experience, but I don't get, because I know I said predatory, right? Like, the realm is not conducive. Like, if you somehow like got ported to their world, you would die instantly. It's like, that's more what it is. And then the more predatory thing isn't that like they want to kill people or like eat people, or, and I'm getting sort of eat people, but it's what they mean by eating people is not what we mean. Like, there is something that they eat, but like you wouldn't die, but it's also uncomfortable. Like, it's something nebulous, but Like your encounter of these beings is just like you can see it's unpleasant. Like this experience, like this intersection of like, oh, these are the realms intersecting. And once the realms intersect, like these are the dreams, right? These are the dreams, these are the communications. This is going to happen to you. Well, when these realms intersect, when the shit comes together, then you'll see them. I fucking hate this image. Then you'll see them. And this is about some sort of uncomfortable spiritual process or dimensional process. I'm not sure, but ooh, okay. I know this is the Nine of Swords. What I'm getting most from this is uncomfortable. Like this is uncomfortable. It's not that it's painful, it's just so fucking weird. Like this feels weird. Like it just feels alien. And the thing is, what I get from this is not swords. Like this person is sitting on these swords, right? And yes, it's discomfort, but what I also get from this, high key, this is UFO energy. Like these are these beings. This is also simultaneously, the beings are the conveyance. And like these are little like it's, you know, like spotlight energy, tractor beam, or what, like not literally, like I wish people were on it with UFOs as a symbol of a particular process instead of a literal thing. But this is UFO energy. It's like these beings are coming down, they're finding their people, and they will either be returning things, they return things, they take things. They return people, they take people. They suck them up in the little beams and they put them back down. And like I said, these are your twin. Your twin. This is you, this is them. And you're gonna meet. You're going to see each other during the eclipse. And now we're gonna clarify. It's so interesting that 2 flew out for the card that I picked as the intersection of the realms. I can't decide whether I like this or hate it. I know, Misha. I know. And here comes our little beast, right? Here he comes. Do you have something to say? So interesting. Misha rarely comes for the reads. It's usually Dasa, you know? But when it's... Oh, there's Dasa. Dasa usually comes... Whoop. He's moving the camera. Dasa usually comes when it's a male energy that we're bringing through in the reads. And now we're talking about women, right? Biological females. So that it's possible that these are male energies attempting to come through. Male cats. Beast of Wands. And he keeps rubbing up against the camera. Ooh. And the camera's also on the inside of a ring light. He just knocked over 3 of the other cards, so we're going to take a look at those. 3 cards came out. So we'll look at that before we look at these clarifiers. Something new is happening. These beings come from the stars. They are not from this world. And they are from a dark place. They are a dark twin. A lot of purple and black in there too. Also, water is a reflective surface. They are a reflection. A deep, deep reflection. 8 of Discs, you know, what we thought of as the portal. The portal opening between their world and ours. What I'm getting from this is that they will be striking. It's like them striking through this portal. There are likely 6. So this is not for a large amount of people. 6 beings, perhaps 6 strikes, 6 things returned, maybe 6 things taken. Roots and branches repeated with the 5 of Wands. This is clarifying that desolation of their own world, right? And also, this is also uncomfortable energy. But what I'm getting from this, especially with this roots and branches, you can see that like these branches happen to be flowering. And there's that halo, right? And then the stars in the background. It is likely, though that this process is uncomfortable, it is likely of some sort of benefit. And this is someone reaching up or them pulling upwards, like reaching up towards the stars. 5 of Wands is also the woods, right? The woods. We had the 6 of Swords, now we get the 6 of Wands. And this is emanations through dreams. Emanation, you can see there's like a circle in the circle. This is clarifying that Ace of Cups, how they communicate through the portal of your mind's eye, through the darkness. Ooh, through the darkness of future past, the magician longs to see. One chance out between 2 worlds. Fire, walk with me. All right, the 5 of Swords, the intersection. I said this is like something new is starting. The 9 of Rings corresponds to the 9 of Pentacles. It said female energy, a fresh new thing. This is the Fool, if you can't read it. But I'm also getting Pied Piper from this. Like, if this is for you, divine feminine, or, you know, AFAB woman, you will be called. You will be called to whatever this process is. And then clarifying our, I do not freaking like the look of that. We have the Empress. Whatever this process is, it is meant to elevate you some type of way. And now for our UFO energy. The Queen of Wands. Your twin. Your twin here to prune you, perhaps, because they're coming. This Queen of Wands is like coming to pluck this flower. And we also saw these flowers, okay, I'm gonna bring it back, in solar eclipse in the unseen. You see them also, those roses, blue roses. It was Ring Around the Roses, it was. These roses. This beast in the woods. These roots and branches. The neural network of your mind that they travel within when the realms aren't intersecting. You're coming to get picked up for something. Okay, what do we do now? What do we do now? Is there anything else? Yes. What else is there? What else is there? What else is there? What else is there? Message. Incoming message. What else is there? 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 None of this world. What else is there? What else is there? Oh. Okay, well, not quite. This is about, well, obviously, some sort of union. Because we have like there are two cards on the top are like upside down. And I flipped over the top row first. It's like that top row is this other world. And then the bottom row is like what's going on in our world. So I'm going to keep this the way it is. This is the Five of Rings, but what's most important is that there's a hand reaching down to this King of Rings, which is a masculine energy. And then we have this Nine of Wands, these sunflowers turned upside down. And then Judgment. And you'll see that there's something reaching down and grabbing someone. Like this is a maybe not so comfortable adjudication of some sort. And then the Four of Wands, the union. The union of the realms, because the Four of Wands also will go 11-11, right? That is a gateway. Union, a gateway, conducted by the Hierophant below. Documents. Documentation. If these beings have been documented, official people would know. The King of Pentacles, the Hierophant, because the Hierophant is kind of conducting this. If this has happened before, there are people who are aware of this process, of these things reaching down, and it's possible because like this hand is reaching down to this King of Pentacles, it's possible that the people who know about this are already aware. They've already been alerted to what is going on in the world. This strike through the portal. What is the best advice? I just got brace yourself. Can you see them? Can you see them? What else is there? Can you see us? Before you die, you see the ring. It was Ring Around the Roses, it was. Ring around the roses, pocket full of posies, ashes, ashes, we all fall down. Best advice. Incoming. Brace yourself. Ring around the roses. There's nothing you can do to block this. Snip, snip. You see it's coming. Ooh. You can't see Misha right now. Let me see if I can turn this around and get him. Hopefully I got him, but if I don't, he's like peering up. Like he's behind the counter and he's like peeking out, watching. But this is also sort of like a countdown, right? Like, there it goes. And when it goes, anarchy, chaos. This is mental chaos. You see all the flowers are coming out of their heads. There's nooses, right? The ring. And these skulls have little eyes painted where their third eye is. And these nooses are more like lassos. So don't like, don't get concerned about like death or whatever. That's not what this is about. This is more like the portal's gonna come through and then like snatched up. Oh, one more thing. I want to know, what are maybe some events that we'll see leading up to this? I want to know. What are these evident events? Like, this stuff won't be subtle, right? 5 events. 5 events. It might be specific to you though, like you and your dreams. Don't look now. Wait. We're coming. They're here. Tradition. It's traditional. Those are also doppelgangers, right? When I saw this, I was getting some kind of diplomacy or something during a war. This is something to do with war and diplomacy, or like someone who can affect war and peace. So you see that person has their hands out. If I move my hand here, war. If I move my hand here, peace. This person could also be some sort of occultist, but they would be a public person. So it might be a public person who has occult rumors surrounding them. For some reason, I'm getting skyscrapers for this. Something about a city. Something about a city. Or a subway or an airport. There's that city again. Something about a city. These could be 2 neighboring countries, nations, cities, towns. Because look, like these 2 environments, right? One kind of looks like that crystalline place, and the other might be like the war-torn place. So this could be like something about like the more oppressive country, the city at peace, inflicting war upon this other smaller, because it's like this is more like a little town, right? A little innocent town, whereas this is like a war machine. This city. Some kind of important person, like that feels connected. Some sort of ruler or a figurehead. An old one. I don't know what that is. But I don't like the look of it, do you? Subway? Sewer system? Something underground. I also got birth with this. Some kind of birth. Anyway, that's all I got. I have no idea what most of that means. Other than, you know, there were some obvious synchronicities here, but it could be that whatever's going on with these events, you know, this can, oh, because we have 2 people. I just now noticed that. We have this King of Rings or Pentacles, and we have this Hierophant. And to me, this feels like this King of Rings or Pentacles and this Hierophant. Anyway, we delivered the bomb.